There. This is a different form of looking at it rather than taking an existing plan and trying to estimate that. We are going to have a budget and we are going to design around what the budget has to be. So we started off with that and we took a look at it. We started finding some different options and things like that that were available, and I got to be honest with you, there was times when we started expanding upon some of the basics and stuff, but we found absolutely without the shadow of a doubt, following all of the local codes and the modern aquatic code and all of these different things, model aquatic code, sorry about that, there are very stringent requirements, but all of those are very doable. People build pools all the time. People build buildings all the time. We do it on a daily basis. So what I've got for you here is that's kind of the prelude to what we were going through. What we will be talking about is the pool itself. We'll actually have the gentleman who is the absolute leader in this region, who builds commercial pools, private pools, all sorts of pools for everybody. He is very in tune with the codes because he does this on a daily basis. He trains with the inspectors, he knows the inspectors, he knows the code inside and out. He was instrumental in some of our basic work of, okay, what's required on this? Because I gotta be honest with you, I'm really adept at reading code, and I mean this is what I do all day, every day. But he reads pool code every day, and I don't. So we have engaged him to help us with this project. He will be there to speak personally to this and answer any questions that anybody has. He has made some really, really good suggestions going with fiberglass instead of concrete because it's so much more viable for our area. It's a little more expensive to put it in, but maintenance costs are hugely reduced. He suggested a saltwater pool. There were several people in here who mentioned that too. And he said that's absolutely the only way to do because you reduce your maintenance costs to next to nothing and it's healthier for us as swimmers. So he will be here to talk about that. He has submitted firm bids for this work. You'll see that. And in the back of here, you'll see an example of what his bid looks like, what it includes, what it doesn't, things of that nature. So from there we'll move into the bathhouse as we call it. We started with an example that I think is in here also. It has nothing. It has one outdoor shower. It has some commodes. It has the basic requirements and nothing else. Well, then you're also going to see a plan behind that where, yeah, we elaborated a little bit. We included not just a men's and women's restroom area. We put in showers, a little dressing area. We put in a nice large covered area so that everyone can sit outside and enjoy the pool itself and have this bathhouse structure as a place to change, shower, restroom facilities. Part of the code is you have to actually have changing facilities for babies. It doesn't matter whether you're going to invite the babies to the pool or not, you got to have the changing facilities. So all these things are included in there. And as well in the bathhouse is the equipment room that houses all the automatic equipment, and this is where the modern aquatic code is really stringent. The type of equipment that's used for these pools is very sophisticated today. It has to read itself, it has to operate itself. We are only there to monitor it. So all of those items are included in this bathhouse proposal. We have taken and drawn that, a preliminary sketch. As you can see in there in the line drawing, anybody who's used to looking at those. Let me see if I can find mine so you know what I'm talking about. I can't. Chet's got his there. This is also designed with maintenance costs in mind. Ceramic floor, ceramic walls for the shower. Metal siding designed to look like the barn, so no matter where we put it, it fits with the theme of our community, but also minimize the maintenance. None of us need to do any more painting than we need to as we experience some of those hardships today. So anyway, all these things have been factored in there. Some of them are costing us more money up front, more money than we originally anticipated, but when we analyze this information, we think it's the right thing to do. And then we move on to the next segment of it, is fencing, which is we've got to enclose this. This is another requirement. We've got to enclose this pool with a security fence, automatic gates and things of that nature. We are, as a committee, still back and forth on what in the world we should do for a fence. We want it to look nice and stuff, but we have in here included bids on wrought iron fencing, because it's probably one of the more expensive types of fencing. So we figure if at least we're looking at that, then we're keeping our community apprised of what those costs are going to be, rather than estimating low and spending high. I would rather come in under budget than over budget. Over budget's never a good thing. So these are the things that we're looking at on that. We did have some fallout on some of our bids. I had originally talked to several different people preparing bids for the bathhouse and the fencing. At the last minute, a couple of them opted not to go into this. There has been tremendous pressures in our industry right now. Material costs, predominantly metal and wood, are through the roof. Tariffs that we placed on the Canadians and China and stuff like that have driven these costs through the roof. We have seen over the last 6 months, this project has increased in over $17,000. So these are significant, and certainly the people just said, no, with my shortage of manpower and these costs going the way they are, we're not interested. I have reached out to a couple of additional people because in my mind, we must have more bids to make certain that we're good. As you look in here, I've got one bid at 160 something. I can't remember exactly what JKS's bid was.
165.
165. We also had Pools by Design has a builder in-house, and theirs was at like 98. And I have not finished analyzing those bids to determine 100% how comfortable I am with them.
Get your own takeoff.
But I have done my own takeoff, so I think I have a pretty good feel for it. One of them I think is very accurate, and he's treating us very fairly. And on today's, if I had to do this today, I know exactly where I'd be. I'd be with Pools by Design. And then that way they can also coordinate. That's one of the things they save money, is if they're doing both the bathhouse and the pool, it's just easier for them. They don't have to mobilize separate crews. They can work in a more efficient manner. But both have some advantages and disadvantages, no doubt about it. It is my personal opinion and that of our committee that along with whether or not to build the pool should be the vote of the members. Where do you want it? You know, do you want it over here? Do you want it over there? And just get a consensus, so then that way, the most important thing through all of this is we just want to do something for the community. This has nothing to do with me or my wife or anything like that. We have nothing to gain or lose by this other than our community involvement. And I've been very, very humbled by all the people who have come in and put forth information and effort, done legwork. You know, I had to call David the other day and ask David, you know, David, we have a water shortage. There's a severe water shortage up here. That's going to be an issue on whether or not we can build a pool. This pool's going to take 12,000 gallons of water. Where are we going to get that water? We read a water report today, didn't we? We're running short of water. Great, David found us water. Water is included in this bid. You know, this is a process, okay? This is a process. We are going through this. The closer we get, the more we refine it. When you have plans and specs and permits, you should be looking at an estimate that is somewhere around 0.5% plus or minus. Okay? That's the world I live in estimating. But at this stage, we're kind of shooting from the hip. I don't have a foundation plan. I need an engineer for that. And I got to be honest with you, I didn't take any money out of my pocket to go hire an engineer yet. So we don't have that stuff. But what I did was, at this stage of the game, and this is the way we work, is I include a contingency factor. At this stage of the game, we should be well within 10% plus or minus. The numbers I stuck in here, just so that we could have very good information to start looking at, I put 16% contingency. That's over $15,000 just in case I made a mistake. Guys, I'm not perfect. I mean, I've done this for a long, long time. And you can look at how our organization is done, and I guarantee you we have never worked with a 10% contingency. But I figured because, you know, we just need to make certain with the way we are operating here. I'm using your money or advocating for your money rather than my money. So I really, 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 if there's an error, I want to err on the side of safety. I cannot tell you that about this enough. In its origin, I don't know that I was a pool guy. But when I look at the viability of this and what we have to gain and what we have to lose, guys, I'm all over this. I would really, really like to see you all make certain that we put this to the vote, because I think when we do, we're gonna have a community that's gonna come together and choose something that's gonna be great for our community.
Don't forget the insurance and Debbie.
Well, that's a kicker right there now.
November.
I'll tell you what, Debbie and several people, I mentioned David, but Debbie took on trying to negotiate with the insurance company, and along with Tom Broom, I believe, if my memory serves me correct.
Well, she just informed me.
Okay, I can't remember exactly how all this stuff happens, I just know everybody does stuff. So and please, these numbers are not a little bit of it on our initial plans and work and stuff like that. Maybe we've got $198,000 or 92, thank you, somebody will keep me straight.
Yeah, I can tell you exactly.
That's all right, it's close enough. And you are the one we should look to for that. But we had somewhere around $192,000. But we forfeited a big chunk of change through depreciation because they weren't going to give us that money unless we rebuilt. But they are offering, and they have committed to give us some portion of that, and I don't know the exact numbers yet or anything like that, but the bottom line is...
There's 3 denial letters from them.
Yeah, well, we got one that says to the contrary. We've got it, it's in writing, and so this is potentially, now granted, again, no different than everything else on this. Until we have it down to the nut, we don't know 100%. There's no way to know. But you know what's really, really, really awesome is that there is that possibility. So the possibility is extremely high that not only do we have a pool that is well within the range of our budget, maybe $250,000, maybe $270,000, but we may not need any money from us as homeowners in order to do that. And if we do, it's going to be minuscule.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, that is encouraging. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I got really excited recently on this. And that's just yeoman's work. So thank you guys for that. And I cannot thank everybody, again, from the origin, folks who did the initial legwork on this, and then those who have also worked on it. All I'm doing is telling you what they came up with. So,
Yeah.
Sir.
Question. The size of the septic tank that we put in down by the barn, is that septic tank going to be adequate?
has to be a factor, just like the electrical, just like everything. You do still have a lot of variables at play. One of the things that they are going to ask for before they submit a final bid is they want to see what we do have down there and what we have up here. And I think that will help drive the final decision. If this septic system, as an example, won't work, but that one will, and that means a difference in X number of dollars, I think that should drive our decision. But I think those are things that we absolutely, that's this final fine-tuning that we have to go through now. That is one of the reasons why there is that 16% contingency factor in there, just in case we need to upgrade or make some additional adjustments and things like that.
I know both septic systems are new.
That's
So
what I was
we had
gonna
to
ask.
replace
Yeah.
the one at the pool.
Remember that?
And that one was specifically
For-
put in for that
Yep.
pool with the two restrooms.
Yep.
So that one should be good,
Yeah.
for sure.
And see, those are absolutely valid concerns. Those are the final step in this. Couldn't agree with you.